No, good?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Augustines. That's a great story of citizens stepping up. We love to hear that. Thank you so much. We now, I need the sheet for the public. Yeah, thanks. We now have one public hearing that is to be held at 6:31 PM for the purpose of hearing any and all interested parties in the matter of a proposed adaptive reuse conditional use permit located at 1010 Huron Street for the establishment of transitional housing. At this time, we'll have the clerk read the proof of publication.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Herald Times on August 5th and August 12th.
Thank you. Adam, if you'd like to give an overview.
Certainly. So the matter before you is a conditional use, which is the adaptive reuse category for the property as noted at 1010 Huron Street, formerly known as the McKinley School property. The applicant is requesting the conditional use to allow sorry, wrong word, not transient. Why am I blanking on the term?
Transitional.
Thank you. Transitional housing on the property. Just a little bit of background. Originally, the applicant had submitted an application that would have included a warming shelter. However, they are continuing to look at an alternate location for that, so this is 100% just the transitional housing request. The applicant is proposing to establish approximately 30 dwelling units on the site, as well as allowing for commercial use on the first floor. They are still investigating potential commercial uses, but they would be small neighborhood uses that would be compatible with the neighborhood, and the number of dwelling units could adjust depending on the final plans for the building. There are recommended conditions that were part of the packet for the council. I went through Planning Commission's public hearing. While people were in attendance and had some questions and voiced some concerns, no formal objections have been received at this time. As a result, Planning Commission and planning staff both recommend approval subject to the provided conditions.
Thank you, Adam. Are there any questions for Adam from the council at this time? All right, seeing none then, we do have one name for public hearing, so Matt Sauer, if you could come up, you have 5 minutes.
I hope I don't need 5 minutes. Matt Sauer, 1819 South 25th Street. Thank you for even entertaining this. Thank you to the Plan Commission for moving forward. Being on the neighborhood board, working with homelessness in the community for a number of years now, just want to say we've all recognized that we have a housing crisis in Manitowoc. And here is a private group of individuals that is working to address that. Though we would love to have, city and county money, we recognize that we're doing this on our own at this point. As Adam noted, we did have some additional plans at some point, and we listened to the community, we listened to the city, we listened to other places where they had that, and just determined that those two populations didn't quite mix for long-term sustainability. So, we've come back with this plan, and that's now before you. And it's a big road that we have to move up. It's going to be a big ask of the community to raise these funds, but we're confident that this community is ready to do this. I mean, Hope House has been in existence now in one form or another for, I believe, over 20 years. The Haven has been in existence for 10 years now. We're moving into the third year of the warming shelter, and this community just continues to believe that we are a community of neighbors that cares for each other. So we really hope that you will approve this, and we can begin to continue this change, a positive change, taking a vacant building and turning it into a positive place in this community. I think you've read the materials. You know that the individuals that would be living in this facility will be more vetted, if you will, than the average person that might just buy a house in a neighborhood and things. So we believe that we're building a safe environment for the community. And we have plans just to keep working together with you all to continue to address these issues. What we hope will be years to come, addressing it in more creative ways. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you. There was no one else on the list. Do we have any previously submitted public input? None? Okay. Is there anyone else interested in speaking on this subject? Once, twice, we'll close this public hearing. That'll be under the Plan Commission report for this evening. Public input, is there anyone from the public interested in speaking on anything germane to the business of the city of Manitowoc? Yes, you could just state your name for the record.
Jacob Pusto, 1423 North 3rd Street. I'm here tonight to ask the council to please remove the Sharrow symbols off of Maritime Drive, Quay Street, and South 8th Street. Those symbols, which feature a cyclist below 2 arrows pointing forward, I believe are inefficient as cycling-friendly infrastructure and are potentially dangerous to any cyclist. Multiple studies and articles have been published showing that these streets with Sharrow paths don't make cycling safer. They actually make accidents more likely due to a lack of physical separation from motor vehicles and the limited space between moving traffic and parked cars. They're also not that noticeable for somebody driving a car compared to a painted bicycle lane. These studies and articles all largely come to the same conclusion, that Sharrows are not good cycling infrastructure. These Sharrow paths are also confusing in their design. On all 3 streets, there are no signs telling a cyclist clearly where one path begins and another ends. One notable example is on South 8th Street, where the path ends before the drawbridge, but after the crosswalk, so there's no way to leave the lanes aside from jumping over the curb. Quay Street has a Sharrow path going west that starts in the middle of a parking lane, and the eastward path similarly ends right before the parallel lane of parking. There's also the eastward path on Maritime Drive, which starts by 10th, ends at the intersection at 8th, and then starts again at the museum. I understand and respect the initial decision to add these Sharrows to promote cycling. I also know that cycling on the sidewalk is still an option. However, I do not wish to impede on the traffic of pedestrians nor the traffic of other vehicles on the same lane. I just want to see Manitowoc adopt more cycling-friendly infrastructure, such as designated bike lanes, especially downtown. And I'd like to see that happen, but I think the first thing that would need to be done in this projection or progress, I think the first move should be to remove that more dangerous option. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else interested in speaking for public input? Anyone else interested in speaking? Going once, twice. Did we have any other public input submitted? Thank you. Then we'll close public input. Move to the remainder of our agenda, which is appointments. I have a few finally to close some things out because we got some people finally interested in some. Room Tax Commission, a term expiring for 21-25. Myself, Pat Riley, and Steve Zakala as citizen members, and Eric Sitkowitz and Jim Bry as the council members. Community Development Authority, term ending 6/1/28, Scott McMeans. Industrial Development Corporation, term ending 6/1/26, Greg Jagaman. And Transit Commission, Kim Novak, term expiring 6/1/27, Jerome Schermetzler, term expiring 6/1/27, and Amber Hutchinson, term expiring 6/1/25. I'd look for a motion to approve the appointments.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
Motion carries 7-2. Alders Norrell and Vanderkin voting no. Thank you. So that was passed. We'll move to the consent agenda. Anything to be removed from the consent agenda? Yes, Alderman Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like the removal of 24-1733, please.
That is under,
The Public Infrastructure Committee.
okay. All right, you have that document?
Yeah, I don't know that I got any public infrastructure.
The reason for removal, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. You'll abstain from that one, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
They're here.
That's, oh,
I just got them all signed, so.
Yep.
so that, you have the consent ones too? Okay. So we have removed 24-1733. Any others to be removed? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve the consent agenda with that removal.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. We'll move to committee reports, and we'll start with Committee of the Whole and Council President Bill Schley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has the documents.
We have document 1776, which is a report of the Special Events Committee recommending approval for a variety of events. Committee returns same, recommending approval.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move to approve the events. Second.
Motion second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Council President Schley?
No, there is nothing else on our agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move then to the Finance Committee, and Alderman Jim Bry is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has our documents.
We have document 1446, which is a city potential land purchase. Committee returns same, recommending to enter into the agreement and purchase the property.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Alderman Bry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Committee looked at this as a recommendation. We did have an opportunity to purchase the property, and if you can imagine your minds, it would be south of Custer Street between Park Plaza and the Planet Fitness. There's a property there, which will be used essentially for stormwater. It will help alleviate a lot of flooding in that area, so we're in the first stage of purchasing the property. Obviously, the pond will have to be developed, but I think it's a very good purchase and a very good thing for stormwater in that area. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1721 is a scope of engagement relative to the proposed issuance of approximately $1,052,000 City of Manitowoc taxable private LSL replacement loan program revenue bonds series 2024 for the safe drinking water loan. Committee returns same, recommending to approve and enter into the contract.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1722 is a scope of engagement relative to the proposed issuance of approximately $680,000 City of Manitowoc taxable private LSL replacement loan program revenue bonds series 2024 safe drinking water loan. Committee returns same, recommending approval and to enter into the contract.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1766 is R2H Flavor Technology LLC, request to purchase vacant parcel on Vitz Drive and South 59th Street. Committee returns same, recommending approval of sale of Lot 1, Block 6 of the Manitowoc I-43 Industrial Park Subdivision Number 2 to R2H Properties LLC per the land sale policy and the I-43 Industrial Park covenants, and instructs city staff to complete all items related to the sale of the property. And the corporation, the IDC, also notes the following: after the R2H purchase, the two lots shall be combined into a single lot by either combination form or certified survey. Pursuant to the covenants, R2H shall meet or exceed the covenant of having 5,000 square feet of building per acre owned. In the event of R2H fails to achieve this covenant within 24 months of purchase, the city shall have the option of repurchasing the land per the covenant's land sale and resale conditions.
Alderman Bry, can you at least repeat one sentence out of all
Yes,
that?
I know. That's why I was very nicely written out, and I did not choose to rewrite it once again. So,
Your pleasure on this report.
move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1771 is a request from Pet Skull Brewing for a temporary extension of premise for the sale of liquor and/or beer on North 11th Street Boulevard between York Street and Buffalo Street on Tuesdays in September 2024 and October 2024 from 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Committee returns same, recommending to approve the request as submitted and according to city policy.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Alderman Schley.
Just real quickly, there are some folks that kind of lament the fact, or well, maybe in their own minds, but, well, there's nothing to do in Manitowoc but go to taverns. Although this does relate to a nearby tavern, I attended one of these last week, and I noticed families walking up to the food truck area, checking out the displays, seeing what was available, getting food, and then either staying in the area, sitting on one of the benches and enjoying some food, or going down by the river, or walking back to their residences, or getting in a car and going back to their residence. And I was very pleased to see that, because it wasn't just bar patrons that were taking advantage of this. It was truly a family event. It was very nice. So I'm totally in favor of this.
Thank you, Alderman Schley. Any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Bry?
Nope, except our next Finance Committee meeting will be meeting Tuesday, September 3rd, here in the Common Council Chambers at 5:30 p.m. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to the Personnel Committee. Alderman Eric Sitkowitz is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has our documents.
We have document 1649, which is an ordinance to amend section 3.480 of the municipal code regulating city attorney. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the,
Council, your pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
document 1710 is a request to approve the side letter agreement internet with the International Association of Firefighters Local 368 acting captain pay and lieutenant pay. Committee returns same, recommending to enter into the side letter agreement.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1711 is Manitowoc Firefighters Local 368 appeal, chief's denial of grievance for mandatory reporting to work. Committee returns same, recommending to deny the grievance.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1769 is a resolution for seasonal employment rates for 2025. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Sitkowitz?
Just a reminder that we moved our September meeting from Monday the 2nd, which is Labor Day, to Thursday the 5th. And that would be at 5:30 here in council chambers.
Sounds good, thank you. Next is Public Infrastructure Committee. Alderman Mike Cummings is chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The clerk has the documents.
We have document 1733, which is a stormwater management facility maintenance agreement with Manitowoc Tool and Manufacturing LLC at 6001 Vitz Drive. Committee returns same, recommending approval.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee report, Mr. Mayor. Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. We'll have one abstention.
Yeah, one abstention, that's it.
That's all right. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 801. Got my math right. Alderman Bolt abstaining.
Document 1740 is a resolution to enter into jurisdictional transfer with Manitowoc County for County Highway R, AKA North Rapids Road, in the town of Manitowoc Rapids and city of Manitowoc. Committee returns same, recommending adopting the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of the committee report, Mr. Mayor.
No. Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1741 is a resolution to enter into jurisdictional transfer with Manitowoc County for County Highway R in the city of Manitowoc for Waldo Boulevard and Broadway Street. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
What's your pleasure on this resolution?
Move for the adoption of the committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Motion and a second by debates. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1742 is a resolution to enter into jurisdictional transfer with Manitowoc County for County Road R in the town of Manitowoc Rapids and city of Manitowoc from Broadway Street to Custer Street. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
What's your pleasure on this resolution?
Move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1743 is a resolution to enter into jurisdictional transfer with Manitowoc County for County Highway CS in the city of Manitowoc and town of Manitowoc Rapids for South Alverno Road to South Rapids Road. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1744 is a resolution to enter into jurisdictional transfer with Manitowoc County for County Highway CL in the town of Manitowoc Rapids and city of Manitowoc for US Highway 151 to Vivon Street. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1745 is a resolution to enter into jurisdictional transfer with Manitowoc County for County Highway CL in the city of Manitowoc and the town of Newton for Hecker Road to South 26th Street. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
What's your pleasure on this resolution?
Move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1746 is a resolution to enter into jurisdictional transfer with Manitowoc County for County Highway CL in the city of Manitowoc and the town of Manitowoc for South 26th Street to County Trunk Highway LS. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1770 is a resolution authorizing a harbor assistance program grant application pursuing crane platform extension in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the resolution.
Council, your pleasure on this resolution.
Move for the adoption of committee report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Cummings?
That does conclude our business today, Mr. Mayor. Our next meeting will be on September 4th in council chambers. Right now it's at 6:30, but that time might change.
Sounds good. Thank you. Next, Public Safety Committee, and Alderman Tim Bolt is chair.
Document 1759 is an ordinance to amend section 16.350 of the municipal code regulating fence and hedges. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council, your pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1760 is an ordinance to amend section 10.010 of the municipal code regulating provision of state law adopted by reference, traffic regulations. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council, your pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion. Alderman Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for this one, with all the discussion on the traffic and speed limits, this one was just adding to the speed limits that are already there, but putting in an official ordinance.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1761 is an ordinance to amend section 16.070 of the municipal code regulating raising of buildings. Committee returns same, recommending to adopt the ordinance.
Council, your pleasure on this ordinance.
Move for the adoption of the ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Anything else, Alderman Bolt?
No, Mr. Mayor, except that our next meeting is Monday, September 9th in these very same chambers at 5:30.
Thank you. We'll take up the two Plan Commission documents.
We have document 1701, the Neighborhood of Manitowoc County, Inc., request for an adaptive reuse conditional use permit for the establishment of transitional housing for property located at 1010 Huron Street. Plan Commission returns same, recommending approval of the adaptive reuse conditional use permit, subject to the attached conditions.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Document 1702 is Manitowoc Tool and Manufacturing LLC, request for a release of easement in Manitowoc I-43 Industrial Park. Committee returns same, recommending to approve the easement request.
Council, your pleasure on this report.
Move for the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion. Abstention.
Once again, I will be abstention from this particular topic.
Sounds good. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 8-0-1. Alderman Bolt abstaining. Any other business for the council? If not, the motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned.